This year marks 22 years since the very first version of Ubuntu released in 2004. Now, I've always had a little bit of a soft spot for Ubuntu, or well, at least I used to. My very first version of Linux was Ubuntu 16.04 with my much beloved Unity desktop, but nowadays I have kind of fallen away from Ubuntu. Of course, they moved away from the perfectly fine and very usable Unity desktop to modern GNOME. And there's just some other things about Ubuntu that I disagree with. But I've never really messed around with versions of Ubuntu older than the Unity versions. You know, stuff from the 2000s when it first came out. And I've had a bit of a hankering for some old school, or well, older school Linux. Real old school would be 90s stuff. They're very cool looking versions of Linux from what I've seen. And so I've never really done a whole lot of Linux stuff here on the channel before. So I guess I'll give a little bit of my Linux credentials, I guess you could say. Yeah, I started with Ubuntu 16.04 back in 2016, right after it released. Messed around with Linux on and off for a couple years, and then I really started to fully commit around 2019. And yeah, I really started dailying it around then. I like to think that I at least kind of know a little bit of what I'm doing with Linux. I'm still very much a noob. So I'm probably going to get stuff wrong, and I'm probably not going to have any idea what I'm doing, especially with this older stuff, because I know things have definitely changed. Because this version of Ubuntu is, I think, on like kernel 2 or something. The current Linux kernel is version 7, so now normally I'd be showing you something other than just my hands here, but I don't have a physical Ubuntu 4.10 disk, unfortunately. And yes, I said 4.10. That is the very first version of Ubuntu because Canonical does not use a traditional version numbering system for Ubuntu. Instead, they go based off of release date. So 4.10 means it was released in October of 2004. But yes, back then it wasn't uncommon at all to order a CD online and it be sent to your house and it had Linux on it. Most distros did do this at the time, although by the 2000s, this was starting to become less important, especially by this point. I think the in a box retail form of Linux had largely died out by this point, and even the need for mail order discs was really starting to fade out of fashion, just because more and more people were moving off of dial-up and moving to like DSL, and way more people had CD burners by this point than say the late 90s. So yeah, a lot of people could download a Linux ISO in a few hours and burn it and get to messing with it instead of, waiting like an entire day plus on dial-up. But enough about that. I got to show you something soon to keep viewer retention. Now, the system we're going to be trying this out on today is not one that you would normally expect to see running Linux of any sort. This is a Compaq. I know, I feel like every time that people show, especially old Linux, it's always on a ThinkPad or maybe a Dell. No, we're going with Compaq. This is from like 2001. This is a Compaq Evo N1000C. It might be very early 2002, and I believe this was just before the HP acquisition, or if this was after it, this was before they merged and started using all like HP designs. So yes, this did originally have XP Professional on it. Currently, it's running Windows 2000, which we're just going to wipe. I think by this point, Linux dual booting was in a better state than, say, the 90s was, because I know back then it was very flaky. But in 2004, I don't think resizing an NTFS partition in Linux was at all like a safe thing to do yet. Yeah, we're just going to wipe it. Be a little sad to lose Windows 2000 on here, but I got tons of machines that can run 2000. So this system has a Pentium 4M. I believe running at 1.8 gigahertz. Yes, this was still at the time when Intel was trying to make NetBurst on mobile a thing, which they never really should have, in my opinion. But yeah, this thing gets hot, like really toasty. Like you actually can't leave this on your legs hot. It will actually burn you. It has, I think, 768 megabytes of RAM. I'm not sure what the original hard drive was, but I think it has a 60 gig drive in it right now. And it has, I think, ATI Mobility Radeon 7500 graphics. No recollection of the VRAM size, but this system actually has DVD-ROM drive and a CD burner in it. So I think for a little bit of an extra challenge, we're going to attempt to actually download and burn the Linux ISO all on this. and then get it set up. I guess try to give us a little bit more of an authentic experience, you could say. Now, if I remember correctly, this battery does just barely hold a charge. Yep, I had this plugged in for a little while. It lasts like maybe a minute or two, but it does actually still function. Yes, the screen is not very bright, unfortunately. I can crank it up a little bit. But yes, I was right. 1.8 gigahertz, 768 megabytes of RAM. I guess it doesn't tell us what the GPU is, unfortunately. Here's the setup. I am using an external PS2 mouse just because it's not the greatest trackpad, unfortunately. It does have a little, like, track point clone, which is probably the worst track point implementation I've ever felt. It's super laggy and stiff feeling. ThinkPads obviously have the best ones. And the Dell ones are like a notable step down, and even the Dells are significantly better than this one. All right, so we're pretty much ready to go. We got a semi-modern browser just because I don't think we can get away with using like Internet Explorer or old Firefox on the modern Ubuntu site. And I also have the latest root certificates installed, so we should be good with SSL and all that. And of course, we got image burn to burn the ISO. Now, I do not have a good way to get Ethernet out here, and this laptop does not have built-in Wi-Fi. This was still very much in the day of Wi-Fi was kind of a luxury option, even for a higher-end laptop like this. So if you wanted Wi-Fi back then, you were going to get one of these card bus Wi-Fi adapters, and I tested all this beforehand to make sure it works. And yeah, we're connected to the internet. I can ping google.com just fine. Go ahead and get onto Pale Moon here. As far as I know, this is the most advanced browser that natively works on just pure Windows 2000. This doesn't have the extended kernel or anything like that. So I actually forget where exactly we're supposed to go. So let's just see if we can Google our way there. Oh, great. It's not working. Let's use a search engine that will probably be a little bit more friendly. Service has crashed. Can we use DuckDuckGo? No. It's not just loading, is it? Nope, it's not doing anything. So we're out DuckDuckGo, we're out Google. Don't make me do it. Don't make me do it. I swear if Bing works. Oh, why does Bing have... Why does Bing... This is like competent. This doesn't even look broken. You've got to be kidding me. There we go. This is the site I was looking for. So yeah, so we can see all of the old versions of Ubuntu. We're going right here, the version Warty Warthog. Ah yes, the good old days when Ubuntu still supported PowerPC. And even with the very first version, it supported 64-bit. And yeah, AMD 64 was brand new. I think the Opterons first came out, I forget when in 2003. But yeah, this is only like a year later. Athlon 64 was also only about a year old. That's nice that they already had 64-bit support, but this is very much a 32-bit only machine. We got a nice crisp 523 megabyte file. Now, this should not take terribly long because we do have a wireless G card. I kind of wanted to have a wireless B card to make it a little bit more authentic, but yeah, we're not having a fast download time. Kilobytes, so that's over a megabit. That would have been very fast DSL for the time. Yeah, 41 minutes remaining. I really hope that isn't actually the case. She blinking away down there. So that 40-minute estimated download time, yeah, that was pretty accurate. That took forever. Now, given that it is currently July as of filming this, I think the most appropriate CD to use is the Memorex Christmas CDRW. So we're going to go ahead and put it into our drive, which at least claims that it can do CDRW. Weird thing is, when I got this laptop, the eject button did not work at all. You just couldn't eject the drive, even in software, and it just started working one day, and it's been fine ever since. No clue what was up with that. I don't know what a more era-appropriate piece of software would have been. Actually, I think Image Burn was around at the time. Maybe like Nero or something. Excellent. It's done. So, go ahead and get this rebooted. Really glad that worked because earlier today I was having just a nasty old time trying to get a CDRW to burn. Bye-bye Windows 2000. I don't care that you're saving my settings. I don't need them saved. You're getting wiped out anyways. What are we waiting for? Okay, I'm just hard powering it off. It doesn't matter. We're wiping it anyways. Oh, okay. I guess it finally rebooted or whatever. Ooh, all right. Enter to boot. And we're off. Oh, okay. So we don't have a GUI installer. I guess this also isn't a live CD. I guess I just kind of assumed it would be, but yeah. I'm pretty sure live CDs did exist at the time, but ETH0 does not seem to be connected to any sort of network, and use the etherconf utility or configure network statically. Also choose a different interface. Can I go back? Oh, configure the network. Oh, okay. We got a lot of stuff here. I wonder if it'll detect the PC card. All right, well, we'll set it up later. Oh, we actually have an 80 gig. I thought we only had 60 gig. So I guess this actually can auto partition. It's going ext3. I wonder how big of swap it's gonna make. This is going pretty smooth so far. Really hope I didn't just jinx it. I really like this laptop, especially this lid close hinge. Like, I'm pretty sure this is metal. Or if it's not metal, it's like really heavy plastic. It's just so satisfying. If you're wondering how hot the Pentium 4 is, yeah, the machine is quite warm. The fan is not spinning super fast though, so we're not stressing anything here. Oh, I guess it's just installing. No other options, I guess. Oh, well, just ejected the CD, and I guess we're done. That didn't take too terribly long. That was maybe like 7 or 8 minutes. I don't know if there's like a timer countdown that's just not displaying, or if it's not accessing the drive at all. Let me just hit enter. No. Do I need to hit escape? Oh. It doesn't just automatically load this up? Okay, I guess. So yeah, we got kernel 2.6.8.1. Quite an old kernel. Uh-oh. Hmm. Oh, okay. I'm hoping that's not stuff we really need, because this is like PCI Express, which this machine doesn't have. Hardware random, I don't know. I don't know what SHP CHP is. Oh, PCI hot plug. Okay. That would be PCMCIA. That's not the greatest. This is taking a long time to boot. I don't know if this is just like a first boot thing, or what's going on. Did it hang? It's been here for like a minute. There is no drive activity. Not a great sign. I'll let it sit for a little bit longer just to see if it like unsticks itself. Well, I can't possibly think of anything worse than removing the PCMCIA card right now. So, you know, just do that. Yeah, it's still stuck. I'm gonna reboot. Let's see if just this being in there was causing it to freak out. I have no clue if this is supported on Linux at all. Starting hot plug subsystem. That was okay. No, it's still giving these errors. No, it's back to this spot. Well, I don't know what to do. I guess I'm just gonna let this sit here for like 5 or 10 minutes, and if it doesn't do anything, then clearly something is wrong. I wonder if it's getting hung up on the fact that the clock is set to like 2026. That shouldn't be a bug. That's a really dumb bug to have on such a new-ish operating system, but I'm gonna set the clock to like 2004 and see if that fixes it. How do I change the time? This is very HP BIOS. I don't like it. Is there really no option to change the time? Are we for real? It doesn't even like display the time anywhere. There's no way. There's no way that you have to rely on the OS to set the time. That's no. No, I refuse to believe that. This is so dumb. Hold on, I have a solution maybe. This laptop thankfully still has a floppy drive, so I'm gonna try booting DOS and just running the time command in there to reset the time. This guy, oh, error. Oh no, does the floppy drive not work? I wonder if it has a bad belt or something. Alright, well, no floppy. I guess we'll go Windows 98 CD. Alright, Windows 98 CD. Date. Set it to 1... Alright, I think it has to be dashes. 1/1/2004. The current date is 1/1/2004. Okay. Actually, I should probably set it to like 11 1, 2004. That way it's a little bit after release day. I swear, if this is all that's wrong, that's such a dumb error to have. Oh, it went past. No way. That's the error? It didn't like it because it was 2026. That's so stupid. Also really stupid of the BIOS that I couldn't just set the time. New user account. All right, let's go with my good old classic here. Ubuntu provides additional software. Updates may be tracked each time you download. Caring about being tracked when you upgraded your system. Yeah, Canonical definitely doesn't care about that now. Internet, I don't know if that's meaning like right now it's going to do that. I assume not. Pre-configuring stuff, I guess just stuff that's already on the drive. Well, good thing I did that. I guess it counts downloaded as stuff that was already on the CD, too, so good thing this is getting all set up. That or this was just the next logical part of the process, and it errored out the download part. I don't know. I'm just happy that something is happening. I really hope I can actually set the time back to 2026, and it's not just there's some hard-coded bug in the kernel, or something like that. Hopefully it's just, it was a bug for the setup. All right, we're done. We now log in. I guess we don't even have to reboot. I feel like a reboot would probably still be wise, though. Yeah, I did have the little bongo thing. That's cool. I'm gonna go ahead and reboot just to make sure. It's always a good idea to just, reboot it, start clean anyways. This way we can also see how long the boot time actually is. Okay, so it does automatically go now. Okay, that was about a minute. Okay, so we actually have to type our username. We weren't sophisticated enough to just have it saved yet, I guess. It was playing like a really soft like sound. The volume wasn't turned up enough, but at least we have working sound. That's something we definitely can't take for granted. I wonder if the volume controls on the keyboard actually do anything. If they do, they're not updating this. But yes, this is what Ubuntu looked like in the very beginning. This is GNOME 2, I believe. Oh, yep, volume's a lot louder now. Oh, it's just opening a browser. Dang it. Okay, Control-Alt-T does not bring up a terminal. That wasn't a thing yet. Oh, well, I didn't need root, but okay. Do we have neofetch? No. Alright, I like the little sound effects. They might get a little obnoxious, actually. I'm gonna turn the volume down. Okay, the volume control is not very fine. Okay, we got system monitor. I don't know if this evolved into like the later GNOME system monitor or something, or if this is different, but we're only using 95 megabytes of RAM. That's definitely a lot less than Windows was at the time. Like XP would probably be using more than that at least by default. Yeah, 95 megabytes of RAM in that day and age, that's pretty decent. Palm OS devices. Didn't know Linux had like Palm support. GNOME Pilot. Well, unfortunately, I don't have a... Actually, I think I do have a very old Palm PDA somewhere. I'd have to dig it out. But if you can get that working, that's cool. You can take a screenshot. Huh, okay. Let me get to a file browser. Home. Oh, there's our screenshot. Huh, nice. All right. So far, this is working great so far. That's pretty smooth, honestly. It's got screen tearing, unfortunately, but I think X just kind of had that at that time, unfortunately. I still wanted to see what version of GNOME this is. About GNOME. There we go. 2.8.1. Build date October 12th, 2004. Go ahead and take a look at what we got here. Desktop background. Wonder what they included. So we got no wallpaper, chocolate widescreen, and just regular. Oh, so these are the only wallpapers we got? Oh, that's lame. Kind of hoping there'd be some cool wallpapers in here, but I mean, this one's okay. It's very, very simple. It looks very gray on the camera, but it's a lot more brown in person. Got any cool screensavers? Whoa, that's wild. Preview that. That one's pretty cool. Ant. Whoa. Huh. Okay. Ant inspect. What? Yo, hold on. That is so cool. Is this an OpenGL? Oh, I really hope this is an OpenGL. That doesn't look software. I don't think software could be this fast. That's so cool. A lot of ants. What's up with all the ants? Apple II? Okay, that's cool. It's got like RF static. It's got like famous quotes stuff. That one's cool. I like that. I don't think we're gonna go ahead and set one of these. Man, there's so many. Why'd they give us so many screensavers and not any extra wallpapers? That's crazy. Mobius. Oh yeah. These are awesome. Theme. Ooh. Got any cool themes? Oh, so we got human. This was the default Ubuntu theme. We got Crux. Oh, I like this. This is pretty nice. Default. This is the default, I guess, GNOME theme. Glider. Not bad. Grand Canyon. This updates so fast. Like it applies really quickly. Industrial. All right. Mist. Ocean Dream. That one's kind of nice. Simple. Yeah, that's simple. Whoa. Okay. Traditional. All right. These are definitely nice. I'm going to leave it at the default Ubuntu one. Login screen setup. Whoa, whoa, my mouse is freaking out. What the? My mouse is gone. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, it's back. I don't know what happened. It like was like freaking out and it just disappeared. Okay. We can even change. Oh, happy GNOME with browser. Human circle of friends. Yeah, this was on the like first CDs, I think. Definitely interesting. I don't know if I want these people just staring up at me as I log in. I think we're gonna leave it as this. Well, I do like the GNOME with browser, but we'll leave it at that for now. Let's see if we can set the time and date. Hopefully, when I set this, it does not just implode. Synaptic Package Manager. This isn't going to do anything because we're not connected to the internet. Well, we can at least look at what's installed at least. This has not changed at all. It's been a little while since I've opened up Synaptic, but man, this does not look any different than it still does. All right, so let's try and get Wi-Fi working. I'm curious if this is going to work or if we even have any PC card support at all. I inserted it and it didn't do anything. Let's reboot and see if that does anything. I do have other options for networking and even Wi-Fi we can try. I really hope the PC card works. Okay, so it did save the time. Is it being detected at all? All right, so we at least have USB. It's detecting our mobility Radeon just fine. It's got the Firewire controller, PCI card bus controller. Seems like it's detecting it fine. Well, that's got to be the PC card then, right? What if I unplug it? Oh yeah, it just disappeared. Plug it back in. Okay, so wait, it detects the card at least. So I don't think that's the issue. Oh, it blinked really quickly. Preferences? No wireless devices. Okay, we might need to run that ether config thing it said. Which I don't know if that's also for Wi-Fi. I probably will need super user for this. Is sudo a thing yet? It is. Okay. I think it was etherconf. No. Was it ethconfig? Oh no, what was it? Oops, I accidentally opened the browser. Let's see if there's a GUI way to get this set up. Creating a new network. All right. Wireless. Wireless device. Not being detected. Not a great sign. Oh, it also only has WEP. Right, because this is old. Well, I really don't want to like move the system somewhere else and have to set up a new filming area. So, let me see if I can get USB Wi-Fi adapters to work. All right, so I got two USB Wi-Fi adapters we can try. I got this Linksys wireless B adapter. This thing is super old, so that might work. And then I got this Netgear thing, which I don't know when this is from. I think it's like a wireless G adapter. We're going to try the Linksys first, because that probably has the best chance of working. I just really like the little flip-up antenna. USB ports on this laptop are so hard to plug things into. Let's see, did anything pop up in here? I don't see anything. Not a great sign. Surely a reboot will fix everything, right? Camera battery died last night, so I just decided to pick this up today. I did also try this one off camera, and yeah, just none of these are working. This one was actually detected by at least like the device ID, like it detected that it's a Netgear, you know, WG112 or 111, whatever this is. But I think that was just reading like the USB device ID, and it didn't actually know what to do with it. But I still want to try and get this online somehow. And I wish I had Mocha adapters, which lets you send Ethernet over coax, because there's actually a coax cable like right there. There's coax cables all over this house. Unfortunately, I don't have any of those because they're not the cheapest. So if only you knew how bad things really were. So I've never actually used these adapters this far apart in the house before. I barely used them at all, so hopefully this works. I think that means it found the other device. These adapters are definitely not on the same circuit, so we're probably going to have abysmal performance. But even if we can get like 10 megabit or something, that's better than nothing. Let's see if we can do this through the GUI. Ethernet. Let's do, hopefully DHCP works. Okay, Ethernet LAN card. Oh, did that work? It didn't complain about it. Properties. Okay. Can we ping anything? Hey, we're on my network. Awesome. All right. Do we actually have internet access? We do. Now, I have a feeling that no browser is going to actually really be able to get online. This isn't even Firefox 1. It's 0.9. Oh, dude, this is not great for us. We're also going to have horrifically outdated certificates. There might be a way to update the certificates on here. I'll have to look. Oh, it did kind of connect. Of course, Google nowadays complains about old browsers, which they never used to. You used to be able to access Google on like IE3 update at all. I have a feeling no. Reading package lists done. It didn't do anything. Do I have to like update the sources? Let's enable these other ones. Archive. Universe component. Packages in this component are not supported. Okay, then I guess we won't enable that. Yeah, main restricted. Okay. Downloading files? Is it actually downloading it, or is it just saying it? It's only trying HTTP, so I don't know if it's yeah, IP not found. Okay, so I don't think it's an SSL issue. Let me see if Ubuntu even has a repository still for this. And if they do, then maybe we can add it and actually maybe try to update it. I wasn't filming, but I think I might have actually got the repository to work. When I ran this, it didn't say that it errored out. It said it was done. Done downloading the files. So let's see, does it do it again? Oh, it said hit. It said done before, so maybe it was just marking that it was already done. Okay, so maybe we can actually try to update. All right, hold on. Wait a minute. So I was looking something up on the Ubuntu site about this, and apparently back then it was still called aptitude. I don't know if you can do apt-get Let's try if apt-get works. It's trying different IPs. It says hits. Could not get lock. Or is temporarily unavailable. Unable to lock the administration directory. Another process is using it? Oh, is it because I have Synaptic open? Oh, it actually did stuff. No. So it connected, but it says 0 packages available. Well, I did all that for nothing, I guess. So maybe they... Oh, I see here I did aptitude here, and I forgot to change it here. Let's see if that does anything. So maybe the repositories... So I guess the repository technically still exists, but there's just nothing hosted on it anymore, which kind of sucks. Yeah, nothing. That really sucks. If I go back to Synaptic, can we try to download any packages or anything? Actually, can you even search repositories on Synaptic? I don't know, actually. I basically never used Synaptic. Okay, so apparently Thunderbird's not installed, so let's see if we can install Thunderbird. Oh, there's Thunderbird. I'm pretty sure that wasn't there before, so... Okay, alright, so we have Thunderbird installed now. 0.8. Games and Amusement. Oh, those are already installed. Graphics. Inkscape. So apparently my microphone was off for the last, like, 7 minutes. That's annoying. But it has successfully downloaded. So we are actually able to download programs. And there's Inkscape. That is so cool that this is still possible to do. And it wasn't even that hard to get set up. You know what I just realized? Why there's probably no updates? This is probably like the finalized ISO, and they probably wrapped all of the updates into the disk already. That probably explains why there at least it wasn't detecting any updates for the installed stuff. We could actually try to install kernel. Let's see, we got Linux restricted. See, it only installed the 386 kernel, which we can definitely use something better than that. There's K7, which we don't have, so we'd have to go 686. Because if this kernel is compiled for 686, it'll have better optimizations for this chip than just a plain 386. I mean, the system's been working fine so far. It's been stable, and it's been performant enough. But if we can get extra performance out of it, I'm certainly not going to complain. Besides, we have a 1.8 gigahertz Pentium 4M. We need all the extra help we can get. I have to say, so far, I think this has been a little bit more fun than modern Linux. It's not to say that I don't like modern Linux, it's just that this has a little bit more stuff I have to do. Modern Linux it literally is kind of just plug and play for like almost everything. Go ahead and reboot and see if we can pick our new kernel. I'm sure some people would have wanted me to, compile a kernel and all that. I've never done that. Never compiled a kernel in my life. I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to that. But if we have the option to just install a new kernel, I'm going to take that. We go to our menu here. We have 686. It was actually going to default to it, I guess. I should have did this before I rebooted, just to sanity check. Yep. Ubuntu 686. i686. No longer i386. So we have a little bit more optimizations going on there. That's nice. So what games do we got? We got a lot of games. Intros. We got Tetris. Oh, spacebar is drop. I hate Tetris ones that use up arrow to rotate the blocks. I hate that. I don't know why that was so common. I mean, other than that, it's just... I mean, it's Tetris. There's really not much to say. Nibbles? A worm game. What? Is this just Snake? Okay, it's just Snake. Just not called Snake. Tetravex. This was in the Microsoft Entertainment Pack. Never played this. I think you're supposed to line up so that each side is matching the correct number. So there's some decent little... So it's got a decent amount of little games on there. Let's see what version of GIMP we got. Oh, 2.0. Was GIMP really on version 2 since 2004? I mean, I knew GIMP 2 was around for a while, but geez. Also, what is going on here? Oh, okay. GIMP 2.0.2. 800 by 600. I like these icons. These are nice. That's reasonably fast. Let's open up a image. Got our screenshot here. See if we can do a little bit of tweaking. This is definitely different than modern GIMP. I was going to do something intensive like an edge detect or something like that, because we can change perspective. See how long that takes. Well, that wasn't terribly long at all. A little bit longer. Yeah, that's not bad. Okay. So yeah, it definitely doesn't seem to be as feature complete as modern GIMP, obviously. You can't do a ton with the browser because it's outdated. There's Mozilla Firefox, and then there's Mozilla Browser. See if we can install that. That's slightly newer. Oh, I just realized this is not Firefox. This is the original version of Mozilla. Right, okay. Well, I guess I have both now. All right, so I want to try actually gaming on here. And what I want to try are the retail releases of certain games that came out in the late 90s and early 2000s for Linux. There was a company called Loki Games. I think there might have been another company or two that did this. And there were some like source ports that people did of, Quake and stuff like that. But Loki Games actually had, I think, over a dozen ports of decently well-known games for Linux in the late 90s and early 2000s. So the first one we're going to try out here is SimCity 3000. This was available in a full retail box and everything, which I don't have, unfortunately. I imagine that's probably not very common. Obviously, our copy of Linux is a few years newer, but hopefully it will work. Would you like to read the README? No, I already have that open. Would you like to please enter the installation path? That's fine. No write permission to user local games. Sudo sh. Install data files? Yes. Install music files? Yes. Install intro movie? Yes. Yes. Wish it would let me say yes to all. 610 megabytes will be installed, and there it goes. I really hope this works, because I've been wanting to try out one of these retail Linux games for a while now. That took way longer than I expected. It took longer than the OS did to install. But it says, would we like to launch the game? Yes, I do. If you run the game as root, the preferences will be stored in the root. Okay, no. I don't want to run it as root then. Relocation error. Oh. Full screen? Ooh, no. Oh, no. Not defined in file. LD Linux with link time reference. I have a feeling that we have a newer version of this and it broke something. There's glibc documentation. Yeah, and unfortunately the troubleshooting doesn't make any mention of this possible error. It doesn't really say anything about the game just not launching. So I guess it was a little bit too old for this and something got broken, which is very annoying. I'm not really sure how to fix this. So I guess we'll move on to the next game then. And that next game is going to be Unreal Tournament. This is the original release. This isn't the Game of the Year. But if we actually look on the back here, what do we see? A little tux there. Now, there's not actually any Linux binaries on the disk. You had to download them, which is what I've done. And guess who did it again? Loki Games. Although this is a more updated version, I think. This is on Supposedly, this binary is for version 4.36 of the game, and 4.36 is the latest release of Unreal Tournament officially, at least. Might have a better chance of this working here. I forgot I had MIDIs on here. Do they work? No. Well, it knows what a MIDI is. Just there's nothing to play it. Oh, this is 2000. That is not as new as I was hoping it would be. So we just gotta mount our CD. So this is looking very similar. OpenGL's default renderer. Hopefully we got that. And this is probably gonna take just as long as SimCity did. Oh, I really hope this works. No. Creating directory, permission denied, permission denied. What? Okay, so I guess we do have to run it as root. That's great. I totally wanted to run everything as root. Dir name too few arguments. What? I don't even know where it installed the files at. I didn't pay attention. Okay, well, hold on. So I managed to get it to run. It's running way too fast. Hold on. I don't know why it's running so fast. Let me show you what was wrong. So the install script makes the game want to run from your home directory. There's a hidden file here, .loki, and this has super user privileges on it for whatever reason. And trying to run it from here, if you just type ut, that is what it is trying to run. But the actual game is installed in here. So if you run that, it still says it still complains about these not being able to make the directories, but the game at least launches now. Now I gotta figure out why it's running too fast. Also, one thing that's annoying me is the file browser, which is Nautilus, is working like Windows 95 mode, and every time you open up a folder, it opens in a new window. And it's super annoying, and it's also really annoying that there's not just an easy way to go up a directory. So yeah, it's kind of annoying. I'm not the biggest fan of that. Be nice if I could turn on like VSync or something, but you can't do that from inside Unreal. I've never seen Unreal do this on like Windows, so I have no clue what is going on here. So I managed to make it run slightly better. It's still too fast, as you can see, but it's still like unplayable, really, but yeah. And this is also in software mode, and software mode really hasn't changed it at all. The best thing I was able to find is you can add this flag -CPU speed equals, and this is in megahertz. So right now I'm trying to tell the game that this is a 100 megahertz processor. And as far as I know, setting it at like a faster speed doesn't help from what I've seen. And setting it to 1800, which is what the CPU is, doesn't help it at all. Unfortunately, Unreal, I guess, is just kind of broken, at least on this system. I think it's been like 5 days since I filmed the last sections, but there is one more game that I want to try, and that's actually Unreal Tournament 2004. Now, unlike UT99, this one actually just had the Linux binaries just right on the normal retail disk. I'm hoping that since, this is from 2004 and we're running an OS from 2004, that maybe they'll be a little bit more compatible with each other. I did not burn the disk. I copied both the ISO file, which I imagine, I can't, there's probably no way to mount this, at least easily, but I did copy the files, and I'm imagining the copy protection probably doesn't work very well on Linux. I just have that feeling. Ooh, we have an actual kind of interface here. Let's just put it there. Sure. I'm pressing O. Is it 0? No. Is it K? No. How do I continue? Are we for real? Shift okay? Shift enter, shift space. Tab does nothing. V plus? Is it V? What? Huh? What? I don't know how to continue. I actually do not know how to continue. I can't click on this. What am I supposed to hit? You'd think it'd be K or something, or O, but it's not any of these. It's not 0. It's shift? No. I actually cannot continue. How am I supposed to continue with the installation? Escape? That just aborts it. Are we for real right now? Okay, I managed to get past it. I just went to a TTY. Oh, I actually gotta find a CD key. I didn't realize it would need that. Oops. Oh no. I've been thwarted. Oh, I really didn't want to burn the disk. Actually, I think burning the disk probably isn't going to work. If the installer is at least checking to see if the disk is mounted, there's a good chance it might actually be able to detect if the disk is not genuine. So this might not actually work because I just do not have a retail disk of UT. I own the game on GOG. That's a Windows only version. And I know there's an install script to install it on more modern Linux systems. I really don't think that's going to work on here. So man, our gaming attempts have really failed here. So what have we learned? Well, for a first distro, I think it's okay enough. Granted, Debian was doing a lot of the heavy lifting here, but still, this is I guess a decent starting point for Ubuntu. I don't think it's really Ubuntu's fault that we just couldn't really get any games to work, because frankly, I just don't know enough to get these games working, or even if it's remotely easy, which I doubt. But honestly, just for like basic tasks, like, you want to use OpenOffice or GIMP or, stuff like that, this works perfectly fine. IRC, web browsing, all that kind of stuff. Honestly, other than just the Wi Fi card not working, this is a great experience. Honestly, I could have seen myself using this back in the day if I had bothered to, actually experiment with it. Now, we did test this on much older hardware. Only 3 years older doesn't sound like a lot by modern standards, but you have to think that back then, a generation of hardware was like every 6 months, maybe 9 months to a year. But even though that this was a pretty high-end laptop for 2001, this was completely outdated by 2004. You had machines that were twice as fast, if not more than this. And with that newer hardware, I imagine Ubuntu, or really any Linux distro from the time, probably would have suffered issues with, device compatibility. But I guess I'm kind of just impressed at how well it mostly works for the time period. It's definitely a lot less crusty feeling than like 90s Linux, which we're going to take a look at some point in the future, but I think this is a decent enough starting point for some older Linux. Now, should you mess around with this in the modern day? You can. Just be sure to keep your expectations in check so you kind of know what you're going to actually be able to do with this. Personally, I would say like Windows 2000 or XP is a much better choice for this system. But if you want something different to mess around with and not just the same old XP install again, then yeah, it's a fun time for, an afternoon or two. I think maybe in the future we'll take a look at some other operating systems, versions of Linux, or just more kind of obscure stuff that most people don't usually talk about. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.